Welcome to the Steelers Nation Unite Huddle presented by Hyundai. I'm Lindsay Petruni, and today we're joined by defensive end Tyson Alualu. Thanks so much for joining us, Tyson.
Thank you for having me.
We have lots of great fan questions, so let's get right to them. Our first question comes from Blitzburg6. They want to know, what was the biggest thing that stood out to you about Steeler Nation?
I think the biggest thing for me is just the amount of fans that we have everywhere. I always knew that Steelers always had a big following, a big fan base, but I never got a grasp until I came here and I traveled to all the away games and see how well we travel and just the amount of fans we have no matter where we go.
Next, Steelers Lady NC asks, what part of training camp prepares you the most for the season?
I think just the daily grind of training camp. Training camp, is always tough. So to go through something tough for something greater, I think it helps you personally, and I think that helps you as a group of men that's just trying to get something greater. We're all working for that Super Bowl trophy. So I think when you can go through some adversity or some tough times and come out better, it's always going to help you in the season.
Judith902 says that she really enjoyed watching you play last year. What have you been working on to improve your game for the upcoming season?
I feel like I've been working on everything. Well, first of all, just coming back to camp and being in shape. And then I think for me personally, I think it's just all the techniques. We got a new coach that came in and teaching us a lot of things on how to play certain blocks. So I think a lot of the things I'm trying to do now is try and master those techniques and do it repeatedly at a high level, and I think that'll help for sure.
Our next question here is from Gonzo Dog. They ask, how cool is it to walk by the 6 Lombardi Trophies all the time?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's really cool actually to see those, to see the history. But at the same time, I feel like it brings pressure to us as a team, mainly because we're reminded of what we're working towards, and we're also reminded that as a team we need to have one for ourselves to build our legacy and put a trophy in there. So we're working towards putting up number 7.
SNU member asks, what is something that you enjoy doing in your personal life that might surprise Steeler fans?
Surprise fans. I don't know. I guess every time I do have some off time, I'm always spending time with my wife, my kids, and I enjoy that. So I guess something you could say is we love competing at like board games. For Monopoly, Heads Up, all those kind of games. I enjoy playing that with my family, some friends. So.
Who usually wins the board game?
It's always me. I always win.
Would your wife say differently? Probably. SNU member asks, what surprised you most so far about the Steelers at training camp?
As far as the team, or say it again?
Could really be anything. What has surprised you the most so far about the Steelers at training camp?
I don't know if I'm surprised by anything. I guess I was a little bit last year, but coming and expecting what should happen, I think it's a little different this year from last year. But just the amount of people that come out and show up and support, and just a bunch of diehard fans out here. I mean, you won't meet a Steeler fan or anybody that doesn't understand football. I feel like everybody here really knows it's just a good city that supports all their teams.
Was it similar when you were in Jacksonville? Did you go to a college campus like this, or is this a completely new experience for you coming to Pittsburgh?
This is very new. In Jacksonville, we just stayed where we were. We stayed at the hotel and practiced at our facility. So this is something new, and I enjoy it because it blocks out all the distractions, and it kind of puts you in the mode that it's all about football, and we're coming here with one intent to work towards getting that trophy.
My Franco 32 asks, Tyson, do you have a must-have meal before every game?
Must-have meal. I feel like I just always try and eat some pasta before the game, try and carb load to get that energy. But since I've been here last year, at our team hotel, they always made this red velvet cake that's to die for, and I feel like every game, I've always had to have a piece of it, and depending on my weight, how big the piece I could have.
Are you a sweets guy? Dessert?
Yeah, I love sweets. So, and that red velvet cake, I don't know who makes it, but it's always at the hotel. It's really good.
Sounds really good. Rick Ramage asks, what is your favorite place to eat in Pittsburgh?
Ooh, I feel like that's a toss-up between two places. My wife and I, we love eating at Off the Hook out in Wexford. That's really, really good seafood spot. And I like taco downtown.
I like taco too.
I think those are my two top right now.
What do you get at taco?
Well, when I went, it was my first time, so we ordered a bunch of stuff, and I wasn't let down by anything we had, so it's tough to say.
Get a full plate of tacos, right?
Yep.
All right. Just want to remind those of you watching that today's keyword is defense, and you can enter that now at SteelersNationUnite.com to earn yards for watching today's huddle. SNU member asks, what went through your mind the first time you saw those terrible towels flying in Heinz Field?
That's a good question. Before, from an outsider coming in, I hated seeing those towels, and as soon as I joined the Steelers in this organization, it's just crazy. I mean, it's just energy that you feed off whether it's a home game or away game, you just see those towels. It's just great to see. It's energy that we can feed off to help us in the game, and just appreciative of all those people coming out to support for sure.
Kayat69 says, judging by your Instagram account, you went to some pretty unique places this year. How did you enjoy the off season, and what was the most exciting thing you did? And where did you go? I'm so curious to know now. I haven't seen your Instagram account, but.
Well, yeah, I did go to some cool places. Obviously, I live in Florida now, so we always make a trip to Disney, to go to Orlando, Hollywood Studios, and then I got to take a trip back home to Hawaii. That's always fun to go see family. And then I think the most interesting and for me best trip was going to Israel. I think that was very eye-opening and heartfelt for me to go and see all the things that I've read growing up in the Bible, those stories that I heard of and always pictured at a place not on earth, and to go and see walk in the footsteps of Jesus. I think that was amazing for me, and the best part of the trip was being baptized in the Jordan River. That was an awesome experience, and one that I'll always remember.
Awesome. Sorry about the announcements, by the way, here on St. Vincent College campus. That's what you're hearing in the background. Dominic Ariando asks, how did it feel to be a first-round selection in the NFL draft?
Just a true blessing for sure. Every time I think about it or see the draft, I'm always reminded how thankful and blessed I am to have had that opportunity to be taken in the first round. And every time I think about it, I just thank God, thank my family, all the people that I have in my corner that are supporting me, praying for me, just to be able to live out my dream in that way.
Steel Crazy 01 asks, what does it mean to you to be a Steeler, and who was your favorite team growing up?
To me, being a Steeler has always been, you come blue collar, put in the hard work, and I seen that from an outside looking in, hard-nosed football, physical, and you know, it is what it is. Even when I got here, that's how things are ran. And growing up, I never had a favorite football team. I just had like favorite players that I would follow. So I didn't have a favorite football team.
And finally, this will be our last question here. Black and Gold Dynasty asks, when Renegade plays in the stadium, what does that do to you and your defensive teammates?
Oh man, that was a great experience for me last year, my first time experiencing it. But when they play that song and shut everything down, I feel like it just brings juice to the whole defense, because it's, you know, kind of letting us know the game is in our hands. It's our job to shut down the offense, and you could just see it. And it's hard to explain, but if there was a camera going to each guy's eyes, and we just know it's time to do our job. And you know, you can't ask for anything more as a defender, as a competitor, to have things in your hands.
Pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And just a reminder for those of you watching, again, today's keyword is defense. You can enter that now at SteelersNationUnite.com to earn yards for watching today's huddle. Thanks so much for your time, Tyson. We really appreciate you being here. Thanks for joining us for the Steelers Nation Unite Huddle presented by Hyundai.